Hey, welcome back to a new video. I'm Kelly.
I'm Sam.
And this is Sam and Kelly's van. In today's video, we are making the video that we wish we had before we came to Baja California, Mexico. This video is going to be all about our expectations versus the realities of being in Baja. In this video, we are going to talk about all of the expectations that we felt before we came here versus the realities of being here now for a month. Things like Wi-Fi, camping, safety, language barrier, all of those things will be discussed in this video. So stick around and we will probably answer all of the questions that you may have about Baja California. We have been here for 1 month so far, and we came here through the Mexicali border entrance and we drove down here from there.
Right now we are in La Ventana, the kitesurfing mecca of Baja, and it's been so much fun to just be hanging out here at the beach, doing some work, watching all the kite surfers every single day, and we thought this would be the perfect place to make this video. And with that being said, the first expectation versus reality we're going to talk about is safety.
So the expectation for safety in Baja California would be that it's unsafe. We definitely heard a lot of different stories and a lot of recommendations that were certainly fear-based coming here in Baja California. There's also all over the US news is usually some negative information about traveling in Mexico. So we were definitely nervous about how the safety would be and how it would feel here.
Especially me. I was terrified coming here. Kelly was just beaming in our video when we were crossing the border. We filmed the whole thing. We'll put it up here and in the description below. But she's beaming, so excited to go to Baja, and I'm literally like,
I have butterflies. I'm excited and also anxious.
I'm very anxious. But So like just trying to put on a face, but I was honestly really scared to come down here.
And with everything that we share in this video and on our channel in general, it's always coming from our experience. We can't speak for other people. We're just sharing what we have learned in the data that we've gathered in the month that we've been here so far.
The reality is I felt a lot safer here than in a lot of cities in the States. There's lots of cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco that we wouldn't ever leave our van alone or unattended because of all the break-ins and the crime. And here we really haven't felt any of that. All the locals have been super nice and welcoming. Even the border patrol and security checkpoints people have made us feel very safe and very welcoming to us coming here. So overall, I felt very safe here. What about you?
Yeah, I have certainly felt a lot safer than people made me want to believe before I came here. We've been calling friends from back home and telling them how safe it is, and they just don't believe us,
They don't believe
even
us
though
at all.
we've been living here for a month. But it honestly has felt so safe. I guess you would just have to see for yourself, but we have never felt uncomfortable leaving our van yet.
Honestly, for safety down here, you just have to use common sense. If there's an area that you don't feel comfortable, you should leave it. If there's a part of town that there's no one around and it doesn't seem that built up, don't leave your van alone there. Just a lot of common sense. If there's people that look sketchy, just drive away from them. So in general, just if you use common sense, you're probably going to be all right down here. At least in our experience.
So number 2 for expectations versus realities is about language barrier. So the expectation would be that there would be a big language barrier coming from that we are in Mexico and the primary language here is obviously Spanish. And the reality is,
it's in between, to be completely honest. A lot of locals do speak English, which has been very nice, and a lot of locals do not. But we have not had too many issues.
So it seems that the communication here has been in a bit of Spanglish for both us and the locals here. We know enough phrases to get by.
Yeah, I feel like the locals here know about as much English as we do Spanish, so if we work together, we usually figure out what we need to do.
I do think it's common courtesy if you're visiting a different country to learn common phrases that you're going to need to know to speak to people when you're ordering things like, how much is this? May I order this?
Where's the bathroom?
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Things like that, or just common phrases that it's just courteous if you're gonna be in someone else's land, like learn a couple of phrases, and we have, and we don't know much beyond that.
No, honestly, the fact I've actually had to translate for other people down here, which is insane because I know nothing, and
Yeah.
It's been actually like, so do some respect and try and learn a little bit.
Do some respect.
Do some respect. No, just try to learn a couple of phrases. You'll feel a lot cooler, and also they'll appreciate it.
Number 3 is all about Wi-Fi and service. which is one of the most highly requested topics when it comes to Baja California. Above safety or camping or language barrier, people don't necessarily have their priorities straight, but it is certainly one of the most asked questions. So the expectation for Wi-Fi and cell service here is that it would be very, very minimal. And the reality is that it is somewhere in the middle.
So we have AT&T, which is the sister company of Telcel. Telcel is the main service here in Mexico and specifically in Baja. So you can just pick up a Telcel SIM card from OXXO, which is basically their 7-Eleven or a Telcel store, and just re-up how much service and gigs you need. But since we do have AT&T and they are partnered with Telcel, it has full service down here depending on your plan. We have the unlimited plan, so it works fully down here. We do think if we just got the Telcel SIM card, it would work a little faster for us, but overall it has worked well. If you have Verizon, T-Mobile, we don't have this, so we can't speak too much to that, but I do think that if you have Verizon, you can use it down here. I think it just costs a little bit more.
What I will add to that is we don't have full service. We have AT&T, but we certainly don't have full service. And there are many stretches, hours long when you're driving, where you will have no service, whether you have Telcel or AT&T or whatever, you just won't have service. And even here in La Ventana, we have 3G, but it has not worked very well. But our friend that has a Telcel SIM card has said it has worked really well for her. So we don't have full service everywhere.
No.
AT&T does work the best because it is the sister company of Telcel, but it's not great everywhere.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
Exactly.
But as far as Wi-Fi, you can find it at almost most restaurants and cafes. If you purchase something, they will give you their Wi-Fi password, and a lot of the RV parks that we have stayed at have also provided Wi-Fi, so that has been nice.
And also something very interesting, the farther south you go, the better the actual service gets.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that's farther away from the border. So,
yeah.
But that's just what our experience has been.
And we have friends that are working either full-time or part-time here. We are obviously working as well, and it has worked for us. You have to plan out your schedule a little bit more than if you were in the States or back home, but it works. So it's somewhere in the middle, the expectation versus reality. Number 4 for expectations versus realities is about food, gas, and water. So I guess the expectation for all of those things are a little bit different, that maybe food is harder to find, or you can't find obviously the foods that you love from back home. Water maybe is harder to find to fill up your camper van, and that gas may be harder to obtain as well. So I'll just speak about food right now. The food actually at restaurants has been amazing.
Insanely good.
Yeah, obviously, like you might want to visit the ones that you see people at, but we have even gone to ones that we haven't seen anyone at, and they have been amazing. Fish tacos, things like that. It's been really, really good. And the local grocery stores are much more affordable, and they have pretty good produce, but they don't obviously have the same fruits and vegetables that we get year-round at the markets in the US, because obviously we have huge markets in the US, and we take things like blueberries and strawberries and things like that for granted because we get that year-round, and most of these markets do not. They have a Walmart and a Home Depot in La Paz, which is, I believe, the capital of Baja California, so you can get some of your favorites like oat milk, almond milk, some more health food type items there, but that's about it as far as those like US more health type foods.
I'm going to now talk about gas. I was so concerned that we would not find any gas stations because all of our research was like, there's the great gas gap and stuff, and like make sure you never run below half tank.
And the great gas gap meaning that there's hours without anywhere to fill up.
And that is true. There are lots of stretches without gas stations, but they come around enough to where you never really have to worry about it. We've never gone below half where we're like, oh man, we are going to run out of gas right now. The biggest gas gap that we've noticed was driving from San Felipe to Guerrero Negro. That's about 7-hour stretch, basically from the top of the border to the middle of the border. The top of the border meaning Mexicali, and the middle of the border meaning right when you cross into Baja California Sur. And other than that one stretch, which there was enough gas stations to get us by just fine, it's been pretty easy to find gas stations. We pretty much stick with Pemex, and that's been pretty solid for us.
Also, when you go to the gas stations here, there are attendants at every gas pump, so you are not even getting out of your car to fill your own gas or diesel, which is pretty awesome. We have heard weird stories, like sometimes the attendants will try to rip you off by not resetting the meter to 0, and you would end up paying for the person in front of you and you. We have never experienced that. We always tell them like reset the meter to 0, but it has never actually been an issue, but that might be something you want to consider when you go to a gas station here.
Diesel?
Sí.
Reset to 0?
Sí, ahorita que...
Bueno. Gracias. So the last thing we're going to talk about in this section is water, and water has honestly been very easy to find. They're at these agua purificados stations, which is basically just purified water, and they've been easier to find than ATMs. And basically you just go in there. A lot of them don't have pressurized hose systems, so you just have to make sure you have an ability to fill up your water tank with a gravity fill. For us, we literally just cut a little hole in the top with a little marine knob that you can just tighten up, and you just have a funnel, or they have a hose that you can put in that's just not pressurized. We didn't have that before we went to Baja, so we made sure to install that right before we left, and it was super crucial. So just make sure you have the ability to fill up your water both ways.
Also, almost every fill up we've done has only been a couple US dollars, so it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, like $3 to $5 every time you fill up.
So number 5 in our final expectation for reality is about camping. Camping here in Baja California. So the expectation would probably be that camping may be hard to find or that it is unsafe. And the reality is it is neither of those things. There has been more beautiful beachside camping here in Baja California than we have ever experienced before. You can't even find this in like San Diego or Florida the way you can here. It's absolutely incredible. You can use apps like iOverlander to find camping spots here, or you can just use your eyes and you can pull up to a beach and someone may come up to you and collect some pesos, which you should always ask for a receipt from if they can give it to you, or they're free and you will probably know pretty quickly if they're free. And if they're not free, they're usually around 300 pesos, which is like 15 US dollars, which is not too bad for beachfront property. But here in Mexico, it has been wonderful. There's usually some kind of bathroom situation. We don't really need it because we have our bathroom, but it's nice to have. And as far as safety, we have, again, never felt unsafe. It's usually us and some other like beach bums on the beach, usually snowbirds from Canada, or us, or some locals that just want to sleep in their tent and have a good vibe when they wake up. And it has been extremely safe, and one of the best parts of being here is the camping that we've experienced. So that is the 5 expectations versus realities that we have experienced being here in Baja. We plan on being here a couple of more months, so if you have any questions about traveling in Baja California, let us know in the comments below, because we'll probably do a follow-up video once we leave in a couple of months and have even more experience underneath our belt. And obviously this is our own experience, so if you've heard other things or if you want to come and experience it for yourself, highly recommend.
Highly recommend. This is definitely one of my favorite places we've ever been in the van. We've lived in it for 8 months now, and this is my favorite month of van life.
And I'm not gonna lie, being in this country and being in Baja California has really given me the itch to bring our van to even more countries, because this is what we love, is international travel, and being able to have our house as like a backpack when we're backpacking in different countries is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Highly recommend trying this out. And if you have any suggestions of a great country to ship our van to, tell us so that I can convince Sam to take it.
Yeah, she's gonna have to make a PowerPoint or something.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed this video and found some value from it. You can follow us on Instagram at Sam and Kelly's Van for more daily Baja content. We do post there just about every single day. And if you have any other questions, just feel free to leave it in the comments below or send us a DM and we'll try and get back to you. I'm Sam.
I'm Kelly.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Welcome to La Ventana.
We're currently stuck in the sand and have no way to get out.